Kia ora koutou, welcome again to another episode of Rig Rundown's Aotearoa. Today I'm here with renowned Christchurch session muso Cameron Walsh of CWB and South Street Trio. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, likewise.
Looking forward to having a talk about your gear. I've always been a big admirer of your tone. Hell, let's start with this beauty in your hand. What have we got here, bro?
So this is a Gibson Melody Maker. It's actually the lowest priced Gibson you can buy, and I bought it off a friend of mine about 6 months ago because I've always wanted a Gibson, but it's always out of my price range, so I picked this up for a really good price.
Yeah.
And I've been playing it religiously for that entire 6 months since beforehand it was this beauty here.
Yeah.
And I used that for about 3 or 4 years, and then, yeah, haven't touched it since.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The list has taken over, yeah? What is it about that you love so much, man?
I'm not a huge fan of really bright sounding guitars, and the Strat, you can tweak it so it's not as bright, but the Strat's a lot harder with the single coils over the P90s. The P90s have that humbucker kind of sound, but still nice, and you can still get that kind of straighty
there it is.
out of it. Yeah.
Is that neck position, yeah?
That's neck, yeah.
Yeah.
And even in the bridge, you can get like a tally kind of, like tally kind of sound out of it.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
So, just from my ears right now, is that in standard or is that in drop tuning?
It's just D standard. It's just so every string's just down a tone from normal tuning. So,
So D standard, yeah?
yeah.
Oh, right.
So D, G, C, F, A, D.
Right, okay. What's prompted you to do that, man?
Basically, I saw Joey Landreth playing. He plays open C, and when I heard that, because I'm a huge Derek Trucks fan.
Yeah, right.
And then I heard Joey Landreth playing, and he mentioned about having thicker strings and a lower tuning, because I've been playing a lot of slide because of Joey Landreth and Derek Trucks.
Yeah.
And he said having the thicker strings but down tuning, you can still get pretty similar tension to standard tuning, but you get since with the thicker strings, you got a little bit more resistance on the slide. Just makes it slightly easier, and also it just sounds cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what gauge are you using, man?
11 to 54.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was thicker, but
Yeah. Is that with a wound G?
nah,
No?
it was. But then
Okay.
I had a wound G on that, and I went to this with the shorter neck.
Yep.
And it was just like unbearable
Oh,
tension.
really?
So I had to go down. I want to try and find a wound G though.
Yeah.
This is 22 gauge. This G here. I want to try and find one with that's wound.
So with the amount of slide playing that you do, obviously I've seen you play a fair bit of slide, and you're a big fan of Derek and those guys. Do you have your action set a bit higher than normal?
Yeah, way higher.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah,
But you don't find that's too hard on your hands or anything?
Nah, well, I saw Derek Trucks talk about it. He said he just said it so it's the best of both worlds. So you can still fret and play like fairly naturally, but then it's just slightly, you just got a little bit more room with the slide, so you're not buzzing out, fretting out as easily.
Especially on those higher strings, I guess, yeah.
So it's a good balance. It's not too bad, but
Yeah.
I'd probably rather it slightly lower, but then it just makes it way harder to play slide. So I've tried to find like
The compromise, yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, and are they're P90s in there, yeah? Are they the original ones that came in the guitar?
No, that is there. It's actually called a Slug P90, I think. So it's basically like a Strat
Yep.
style P90, and then like see, it's got the magnets there instead of the screws here.
Yep.
This is, I don't know what this is. I was told it was a Tokai, but
Okay.
I have my doubts about that. Yeah. So I have no idea what it is, but it sounds cool though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is if it sounds good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And everything else on it's stock?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything. As soon as I picked it up, I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. It felt really easy to play.
This is the one, yeah. Yeah, and it's that classic TV yellow, yeah?
Yeah, well, the story behind TV Yellow, I mean, it's been told a million times, but it's really cool. So what I was told anyway is back in the day, there were white Les Pauls on television, and what would happen, they'd film them, and since it was black and white, the white would make everything out, bring the contrast of everything.
Because of the white guitar.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just wouldn't
right,
be able to focus, right? So they put it the NUS colour, and then it looks white on black and white television compared to extremely white and everything else.
Hence the name TV Yellow.
Yeah,
Ah.
something like that anyway. That's quite cool though.
That's very cool, yeah. Happy days. And nitro finish, I take it, yeah?
Oh yeah, I got
Yeah.
this 6 months ago and didn't have a scratch in it. And this is how thin the lacquer is. It's just already wearing down, and it's looking beautiful as well.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
But since the Strat here, you can see this is much thicker. So this is an 82 or 81 body.
Mm-hmm.
It's still reasonably good shape.
Yeah, speaking of the Strat, geez, I'd love to hear that as well, if that's all right. If we want to swap over, love to have a listen to that. Is that going to be in D standard as well?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So do you have the capo on for standard tuning
Yeah.
on your guitars? Right,
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really quick.
Well, that explains the fat tone.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh, dig, man.
Actually, there's a local guitar player, Phil Dublé. Check him out on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. He always plays standard tuning, but he had the most hugest tally tone ever.
Yeah.
Just fat as, and I've always, I first heard Phil when I was like 13 or 14, and
Yeah.
ever since then, something stuck with me with that like the chunky tones. Andy's the same. Andy has a huge tone as well.
Yeah.
And hearing all these guys with like massive tones, like that really speaks to me.
Yeah. Right. And is that part of the reason as well that you decided to go to D standard, just for even chunkier?
Pretty much. It's
sound,
just
or,
a hack way of getting a fatter tone. Pretty much.
Well, it works, man.
Yeah.
Hack or no hack, it sounds great. Yeah. Oh, excellent. So that's an 80s body on the Strat. Yeah?
80s body and a 2001 Japanese neck, I think. This is about the fourth neck I've had on the Strat.
Why have you
And
been snapping them?
no, because it's a Fender, so they don't snap.
Ah, right.
No, I just didn't like the previous necks, and this just felt so good. So I traded it with a friend of mine
Yeah.
for the old pickups out of this. But this Phil Dublé, who I was talking about before, this is actually, I bought this off him. So I like this guitar a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it, man. If that's right, I'd love to.
So you heard the wee Stratty tone on it before, on the neck pickup on the Les Paul there. So this is what I mean. It sounds pretty similar on the neck pickup selection. Yeah.
Really transparent, yeah. It's lovely.
Yeah, really, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And again, same gauge of string.
Yeah.
50.
Exactly the same.
What was it?
54.
54
Yeah.
to
11.
11 to 54.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Don't ask me what the individual string. I don't look at that.
What brand?
Ernie Ball.
Yeah. Any reason for the Ernies over the Didarius?
Just cheaper.
Right. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, not that there's any. There's no outside influence on these interviews. This is just purely our views.
Yeah.
But yeah, good to know.
And I'm not sponsored by Ernie Ball. I wish I could say I was,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Are you listening, Ernie Ball?
They're just a good price, and they're good. They last pretty long.
Yeah. Nice one. Are they? So you said they're replacement pickups in there too, yeah?
Yeah, these are Seymour Duncan Antiquities.
Yep.
I did have the Fender 62s in before this,
Mhm.
but they were really bright.
Yep.
These are just beautiful,
Yeah.
really balanced.
So they're a bit higher output.
No, they're pretty vintage voiced.
Okay, right, yeah.
I couldn't tell you the ohmage, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're pretty vintage style. They're just a little bit warmer, I'd say,
Yeah.
than vintage straight pickups.
Well, as I've been standing here too, I can't help but notice this whammy bar that's
Oh yeah,
slightly shorter than I'm used to. Yeah. What's going on there? What's the deal behind that, man?
David Gilmour. His was much longer. I did have it David Gilmour sized, but
Yeah.
I don't use whammy bar enough, and it always gets in the way.
Yeah.
So with this, you can still. It's just long enough where you can.
Yeah.
It's just long enough. Yeah,
But
that's
it's-
all I'd use it for. you
Yeah.
know.
Right. Okay. And so you just hacked one off, or can you buy them like that?
Just chucked it in the vise and sawed it off, and then bent
love
it back in place, and then chucked the cap back on.
Love it.
It looks pretty funny though.
Oh, it looks awesome. I love it. I think it might catch on, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so you've got your clean tone and lovely pickups in your Gat. What's going on down here, bro?
It's pretty standard, really. I got this off my friend. I gave some guitar lessons to, and he gave this to me as a gift. And this harmonic trem, reverb, and then Mac, whatever that is, I'm not really sure. Chorusy, but I just like the harmonic sound on it. And then this is just a Soul Food by Electro Harmonix.
Yep.
Just for a heavier kind of sound.
Yeah.
And Matt Schofield uses this. Well, he did use this.
Yeah.
It's just a, like you said before, transparent overdrive. It's just really not much gain there.
Starting to break up a little
Just
bit there.
starting to, yeah. It just kicks the amp into gear a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then this is the Seymour Duncan Tube Screamer clone, which I really, really like because it's got a 3-band EQ on it, unlike the regular Tube Screamers. So I really like that. And then just a delay, not tap tempo or anything.
Yep.
And then just my Bassman doesn't have a reverb, so
Yeah, right.
I used this and I plugged it into the computer and just tried to get like an old
Oh,
reverb.
it's a TC, yeah, where you can download the I guess it's the patch that you want?
Yeah,
Yep.
I just plugged it into my computer and got the app for it, and then
Yep.
just tried to dial in a vintage kind of spring tank reverb, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, give us a wee demo, mate. Don't be shy.
Off the reverb.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you probably hear it more with new strings. Yeah. You can't hear it there. Yeah. It's
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
I can't not play with reverb.
It's a thick sound, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And, so that cable leads us all the way back to a hell of a lot of tweed going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about this beauty, mate.
So I first heard about this amp through Phil Dublé, the fella who I was mentioning before. He told me he wanted one of these like probably 5-6 years ago. And then I heard Andy's, which is his, just set up right next to mine here. Heard Andy play through one, and I was like, oh man, that's huge.
Yeah.
So
410, yeah?
410, yeah.
Yeah.
How can you not want to get one when you hear that? So
Yeah. What is it that you, apart from obviously the sound that you love, what is it about a Bassman that makes it the amp that you want to have on stage?
it's just easy, I guess.
Yep.
It's just a good pedal platform. You can chuck anything through it, and it's it's fairly consistent with how it sounds compared like on the room changes and everything, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not too big, but it's not too small.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of headroom. It can go really loud, but also it can still sound pretty decent on a smaller gig, quieter gig as well. Yeah. And it's a nice looking amp.
Yeah. Oh god.
And it looks killer with that paint job there as well.
Yeah. No. There's definitely a lot of beauty going on here. Awesome, man. Well, dude, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I've been wanting to have a chat to you for a long time about your tone. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Yeah,
And good luck for your gig tonight, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah.